calling in and trying to see what it would take for Matthew Stafford. Now, again, no formal offers, but discussions about how quickly this could happen, what it might take. And so conversations in terms of trading Matthew Stafford are underway. Now, the trade cannot be processed until the middle of March when the new league year begins. But if you remember when Alex Smith got traded, the agreement was reached between the Washington football team and Kansas City the week of the Super Bowl, and then was processed 6 or so weeks later, and Alex Smith became a member of the Washington football team. I think you're looking at a similar timeline here, where in the next couple of weeks something could be agreed to and then would be processed when the new league year begins in mid-March.
Dan might have frozen. Dan, can you hear me?
No, I'm not frozen.
Go ahead, Dan.
Yep.
He's still with us.
Okay, so it's important for everyone to pay attention to what's about to get said from me, because the reality is 2019, one season ago, halfway through the year, there's 5 guys that are in the MVP conversation. Matthew Stafford was one of them. He was lighting the league on fire. If you're a team that is in the Deshaun Watson conversation, that you look at your organization as a front office and say, we can upgrade the quarterback spot if we go get Deshaun, and it's too rich for you, you should immediately pivot to Matthew Stafford. Because you can absolutely upgrade your quarterback position with Matthew Stafford. And if you're talking about a team like the San Francisco 49ers, you're back to being Super Bowl contenders. If you're talking about a team like the Indianapolis Colts, you're automatically Super Bowl contenders. There's, 15 teams that if they go get Matthew Stafford are now like deep contenders. So if you're into Deshaun conversation, get into the Matthew Stafford conversation. You're going to get one of the more talented players in the league at the position.
First of all, I got a tremendous amount of respect for Matt Stafford. Listening to dudes that played with him, everybody loves him as a teammate. Dan knows that firsthand, but he has a lot of respect from the guys that's around him. That's number one. I think people kind of, it's kind of not talked about enough how difficult it is to go into a new NFL locker room. Now, obviously, he has cachet, and everybody knows who Matt Stafford is in this league, but you still got to go earn the trust of them guys. You still have to go and play your way into them believing that you can take them where they trying to go. And I can't think of no better place than New Orleans, y'all.
Ooh.
The Saints are ripe for Matt Stafford. When you think about Sean Payton, you think about the arm talent that Matt Stafford has. He's playing with Alvin Kamara. They already contenders. That position, if he goes and plays quarterback for the Saints, they may be Super Bowl favorites. That's how much Matt Stafford would put forward with this team. So, look, I know the cap situation, Mina, before you get all grown and adultish on what we talking about. I already know.
Marcus.
But let me live my fantasy and think about Matt Stafford with the New Orleans Saints and the New Orleans Saints having an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl.
Mina's over there they're already like 80 million over the cap. Like, there's no way. But Marcus, you live in your fantasy land, okay? It's all right. Mina, I want to
fantasy land.
I love it. There's no roller coasters in that fantasy land.
Get his ludicrous on.
Yeah. Whatever. All right, Mina, take us inside the situation from the Lions' perspective. Like, what did their trade partners really look like?
I love Marcus anticipating my head exploding when he mentioned the Saints, because I was just picturing Mickey Loomis, digging under the sofa cushions for spare change. There are teams that have draft capital and cap space. There are a bunch who can go after Stafford, and we can talk about what's ideal for Stafford from a football perspective, but the reality is the Lions would be giving up a lot by letting him walk in terms of a financial charge, and of course he's a viable starter. They need to get something in return. I keep hearing the Colts as a likely destination. Obviously that makes a ton of sense, but look right here, you got 4 teams picking ahead of Indianapolis in the draft with picks that they should be willing to trade for Stafford. All 4 of these teams should be in the mix. And I actually think they're good destinations for Matthew. Obviously, San Francisco. But how about Washington? That team is a quarterback away from being a contender. They get, with Stafford, you get to play in the NFC East. You have a dominant defense, number 1 wide receiver in Terry McLaurin, a great young running back in Antonio Gibson. So it's not just the Colts and the Niners who should be in the mix for him. I think there's a number of teams that can, should, be right on the phone to Detroit right now.
Yeah, it's interesting because when Mina mentioned Washington, there was like stank faces from both Marcus and Dan. And we're going to keep moving here, guys. But I will say, Mina, I think the key there is NFC East. You're in a division that's so winnable when you look around.
Facts.
I know, and that's a really good
That's
fact.
where my stank face came from. My stank face came from the fact that she always got
I'm
stuff
still
to
reeling from the
support her
fact that
damn
Marcus
argument.
doesn't like roller coasters.
Yeah, we're going to get over it, though, Dan, because we got a lot more to get to today. Next on NFL
we're not,
Live,
Laura.
Fantasy
why the
land,
Bucs
Nina.
defense has
Fantasy
one
land.
person on this show saying these exact words. It's like sticking your hand in a sewer. That's about the Bucs defense.